tipped us to hold on a bit for them. So we want to thank those who are on time, who arrived early, and we want to call upon you to just continue interacting with your neighbor in the next few minutes. Ask them how they have been since the lockdown. You may as well ask them what they enjoyed most in the lockdown. And then catch up with those old friends you haven't seen for a while. And then in a few minutes, as more colleagues arrive, we shall be able to get moving. Thank you. Teacher, just continue with that soft music you were giving there. Ladies and gentlemen, my thinking is that people will catch up with us. We can begin slowly. The challenge with this venue is that it's a very, very huge auditorium, one of the largest we have in this country. And when people take their seats, there is a way they hide in the seats and you think you have very few people. But when I make a quick count, I can see that we are close to 55 to 60 people. And yet our invitation also indicates that we invited about 200 people. So when I have the 65 who are here, to the 60 who have called and indicated they are on the way, to those who assured us they'll come, I know we shall get there. Maybe I'll just make a humble request that we try to fill the middle part here for purposes of coverage, because for sure we have media capturing this event, and so we don't want the media to capture a lot of the empty seats. And definitely for the media, I also know they know what to do. When the seating arrangement is in such a way, they also concentrate where the people are. Not so, my dear media people. So yes, we shouldn't be scared that we are few. In fact, the auditorium is only half empty. We don't want to assume that we are still very few. Ladies and gentlemen, when I check my watch, my reliable watch, it says that it is 2:30, and the waiting of more than 30 minutes will not really be very important. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you today, the 25th of January, the year of our Lord 2022, when we come to celebrate the life of one of us, an icon in the field of education, a great leader as we shall come to know, in the names of Robinson Nsumba, Lyazi, who worked a lot in promoting basic and secondary education in this country. We are all welcome to this venue here at Makerere University. Those of my age may not know much about this venue, because by the time that this university we didn't leave it, the Professor Mugagas will tell us how it came to be. It is called the Yusuf Lule Auditorium. It's a teaching facility here at Makerere University, and we are glad that the university allowed us to use it as a venue. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a program that we shall try to follow to the dot, since many of us have activities elsewhere. So the plan was that we arrive between 1 and 2, just like we've done, and thank you very much for making it on time. Definitely we had to register as we arrived, and I've seen very beautiful ushers giving us the registration list and a bottle of water as we came in. We will have a prayer led by the person that Mr. Mtekanga is yet to give me, but I know this must be one of the religious leaders in our midst. Thereafter, certainly we shall do the anthems first. We shall do the Uganda anthem first, the East African anthem, and then pray. Then we listen to welcome remarks from the Vice Chancellor of this great university. And Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you so much for celebrating the 100 years of the existence of our institution. Not many institutions live beyond even the 50th birthday. Thank you very much for making it that long. Then we shall have remarks from the coordinator. This has been a team, but I think the team will be led by Canon Dr. Charles Kabigiriza, the head teacher of Lyazi SS. Then we'll move in to hear from the coordinator, the chairperson of the Church of Uganda, Heads of Education Institutions in Uganda. Then we'll also get remarks from the chairperson, Association of Secondary School Teachers in Uganda. We shall still continue to hear remarks from the proprietors of private education institutions in Uganda, who were very, very close friends of the late Nsumba, Lyazi. Then we'll also listen to the National Education Institutions Association members, that is NAPEA, and for sure we shall also listen to FENEI, because as we shall come to learn, our keynote speaker, the real giver of the lecture, is actually going to be a member of FENEI, representing all the other members of FENEI. Thereafter, we shall have remarks coming from the Lyazi family. I just want to request our son, Geoffrey Tavazi, to get set for that moment when it comes. We'll get into the memory lane, and this will be visual. We shall be seeing it on the screen. Then we'll get to the real lecture now that leads us here, the Robin Nsumba Lyazi Memorial Lecture, and this will be led by none other than Ajat Zauja Lifuna from FENEI. Welcome, Ajat. Then thereafter we shall get official speeches. And one of the speeches will come in from the Director of Basic and Secondary Education, the current Director, who actually replaced Director Nsumba Lyazi. Then we'll get into the PS, and then we'll get into the chief guest. And thereafter we shall have a launch of the Nsumba Lyazi Foundation, receive a few refreshments, and then we close and depart at leisure. So ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me, may we get the function started by having a prayer from Reverend Nathan is around. Definitely when he is in the space, and it is a forum for educationists, is very much welcome. I think for purposes of coverage, Reverend, come over here, and we have you commit this function in the hands of God. Okay, learning never ends. The Reverend is coming to be on the alert. But yes, the official way is to begin with the national anthem, then we get to the East African, and then we move to the prayer. Reverend, just come over, don't worry, and you get set here together. So the DJs are going to lead us in singing the anthems, which I'm very, very sure all educationists know very well. So they are just leading us as we sing the words.
As we pray, allow me to speak about a few things as we remember our loved one and our friend who did great in this country and the Church of Christ. The Holy Ghost, the Holy Book, teaches us in the book of Acts chapter 13 that David lived in this world and served God in his time. We are here to appreciate God that our brother also, that remember, served God in his time. It's my plea that we also desire the same. We serve God in our time. Mr. Nsumba Lyazi, being an Anglican Christian, our prayer as we serve the Lord in our time is that when this world comes to an end, the Bible teaches us, Revelation 13:14, happy are those who die in the Lord. I want to appreciate that our brother served the church with all his efforts, his energy, his wisdom, and served the country, and then he rested. As the Bible teaches in Acts 13, verse 36, that after David served God in his time, he was laid to rest at his ancestors' home. Therefore, we pray that God will give us the same energy. We serve our Lord in our time. And when the time has come for us to come and also depart, as life is, people will join the same and remember and celebrate our lives. Let us pray now. Loving God, we are here as we remember the love of our own Robinson and Lyazi. We thank you for the organizing team for this great inspiration. We thank you that all of us that have come, those that are going to come, as we remember the great work that our brother did for the cause of this great country, Uganda, for the cause of education as a pillar in building this nation, and for the cause of the Anglican Church of Uganda, where he served as the chairperson of all Anglican head teachers in this nation. Lord, we come to give you thanks, and therefore we pray that as we remember, we continue to cherish our brother, that you grant him eternal rest and peace. Lord, we pray that even as we continue to thank you for his works, we commit the family into your hands, that amidst, as we remember the love of their beloved one, they see you amidst all, and above all, continue also to cherish and also to follow the same footsteps. I invite you that, Lord, you come and take position in this place. Whoever will speak to us will be guided by you, and the Holy Spirit will be full over this place to guide and anoint us. And as we learn from our dear ones, you also give us the same grace in the different areas of responsibility that put each of us. We shall be able to serve you with all our hearts, all our soul, all our energies. We pray that, Lord, you will bless this function and take charge. Grant mercies those who are coming, and then grant us your grace with your presence through Jesus Christ, our Lord. And therefore, may the blessing of God Almighty, the blessing of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, rest upon each of you that are here. Keep with us speakers and all remind us to serve the Lord in our time, now and always. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Nathan Rondo, the Diocesan Secretary for Education and the Diocese. Welcome those who are just getting in. May I request that we humbly come and take the seats over here for purposes of coverage. Otherwise, as I mentioned earlier, this auditorium is too huge. I guess the seating capacity is about 1,000. So when you are 300, like we are likely to be, we need to occupy seats close to each other so that the auditorium doesn't look empty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Nsumba Lyazi Memorial Lecture. When something is called the first, it implies that there are likely to be many others following. So we shall expect a series of such lectures. We gladly welcome those who came with the opinion that we need this lecture. We want to welcome all of us. We want to welcome all of us in our different capacities. The coordinators tell me that they invited all people who must be at this memorial lecture. And among the people they invited are our dear political leaders, beginning with those from the Ministry of Education headquarters. Indeed, the Honorable Minister, First Lady, was invited. She delegated the Minister of State for Higher Education, who was also invited in his capacity, but who will be joining us shortly. All we may need to know is that the political leaders at Ministry of Education are right now handling about 3 critical issues for the sector. Some of them are divided up to attend a meeting related to release of primary listening exams. Those of you educationists know that there must be a pre-release meeting. Many of our leaders technical leaders from education are there, as well as political leaders. But there's also another meeting going on right now at Parliament, where Minister of Education is discussing with Parliament over issues of school fees, and so many of them have actually to be there as well. Those who may not know, we also benefit from the writing of global fund projects. A big team is at Protea right now over the issues of writing the next grant of global fund. So don't be worried if they come in at intervals, otherwise their heart is here. So we welcome our political leaders from government, religious leaders, the technical leaders, our dear family members, friends, and all people around the circles of education who knew, who were friends with, who worked with, and who passionately remember Mr. Nsumba Lyazi. Around this time, let me invite the Vice Chancellor of this great university to come and give us those opening remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, as you come, just to inform you that I'm also an alumni of this university. And a few years ago, I used to belong to a great hall called Nkrumah Hall, and I was the speaker of that great hall at that time. So I joined the alumni in congratulating you upon maintaining the class of our university. Thank you.
That hall is called Communist. And visitors, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I'm extremely welcome to the great Makere. I stand here in 2 footprints. As the Principal College of Education Exam Studies, and I know many of you who were here during those days before 2010, you didn't leave behind colleges. But today, schools, faculties are under a college. And I happen to be the 3rd principal of the College of Education. College of Education has 3 schools: School of Education, East African School, Fire Studies and Environment, and the School of Distance and Adult Learning. But I'm also here to present my boss, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University. Now, I'll speak before I read out his message. I'll also give my message as the principal of the oldest and prime teacher training institution in East and Central Africa. But as it is in our culture, you don't talk a lot prior to introducing yourself. I am called what my mother told me when I grew up, that I am Antonio Mwaga Ngaga. I'm a teacher by training at the rank of a professor, specifically a professor of philosophy of education. God's ways are very interesting. Today, the Vice Chancellor was supposed to be here, and I would be in attendance. But he has been caught up with another meeting with the president, so he's away. But again, the miracle comes in this way. Am I related to this great man? That's where the miracle comes in. As I told you, I'm Anthony Mwaga. Mwaga is my Kilani name. Those who come from that area know that Mwaga is a grandson of Gunju. Gunju is the head of the mushroom clan. Unfortunate or unfortunate that my paternal uncle taught and mentored Robinson. When my paternal uncle left, and I'm now literally speaking Uganda English, when he left, the breast of my great-grandfather, Lucy Nagadi, my father picked for him. That he is a grandfather and paternal uncle because he was the heir, my great-grandfather. That gentleman was called Edward Kawere, who wrote Nsumba and Keta Muzinga. Literally people ask how he was Anglican, how come you are Catholic? True. Sewanga, my father, had 8 wives. And each wife took the religion she wanted with their children. Me and my mom, we are Catholics. And that didn't stop us from being sons of Sewanga. Chances are high that if I had been Anglican, I would have said it in Diana. But my father said, since you are Catholic, go to Catholic what? Schools. So I'm extremely happy to officiate and the gentleman who is among those who replaced my paternal uncle in Diana. My paternal uncle stayed in Diana for close to 25 years. That's where he wrote Nsumba from, Keta Muzinga from. He wrote it when he had come back home. And that's where the miracle is. That the son of Kawere who taught Robinson today stands here, present the Vice Chancellor. Now my remarks. Now the Vice Chancellor's remarks. Robinson was a great man. And he taught many of you. While to some we studied with him. you still emulating him? Amidst the many challenges we have, at this time, we had challenges like vandalism during Amin's time. Now we have the challenge of loose morality, especially in the church and Umeya founded schools. Homosexuality, lesbianism, has come to be more prominent in the church founded schools. All churches, no single church. So where did the Robinson go wrong to leave a foundation which is shaky today? Are they the problem, or you and I who remain behind? What has happened that head teachers, reverends, canons, bishops, and maybe even popes fear to talk about these wicked devices? When you tell them to talk about homosexuality, they become like a radio which has loose cells. Maybe they fear to be denied visas, etc. In the church I go to, which is Roman Catholic, today we celebrate the conversion of St. Paul. Paul. And Paul writes about many things. It's a miracle that you are talking about Robinson on the day when we celebrate the conversion of St. Paul. He was an academic, a writer, and an icon for Christianity. I want to end my comment by reminding all of us that in order to emulate Robinson, let us stand up for what is right, so that tomorrow we shall not teach fluid education. The Nsumba, Lyazi played their part, and today we all proudly gather here to talk about them. What of us? When we are gone, shall people gather to talk about us, or the Nsumba Antonio who sexually harassed students, who sold marks, that head teacher who stole a school bus, that head teacher who used to give interviews to female students using penis and so forth? Let me go what my boss sent me to do.
As you know, their professor just this morning address, and all of vehicle number UPE 249E, just kindly go and that just block some people. Please proceed.
And this is directly from the Vice Chancellor's written submission. Chief Guest, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, Rector Basic Secondary Education, members of the University Management, our family Robinson Nsumba Lyazi, Chairperson of the Church of Uganda Heads of Education Institutions Conference, Association of Secondary School Teachers of Uganda, and proprietors of Private Education Institutions Association, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, staff and students of Makerere University. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to Makerere University this afternoon as we hold the very first Robinson Nsumba Lyazi Memorial Lecture in celebration of an extraordinary father and Christian, distinguished civil servant, dependable teacher, trailblazing son of Mitiana, and gallant alumnus of Makerere University. I sincerely thank the Ministry of Education and Sports for choosing Makerere University as the venue for this memorial lecture, and members of the Nsumba Lyazi family for graciously accepting that this event be held here. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. You could have chosen to hold it in Tiana, or at the ministry, or in other institution, but you chose Makerere. We don't take that for granted. As the alma mater, we are proud to identify with the humility that characterized Robinson Nsumba Lyazi's service to his family, community, the education sector, and the nation at large. Robinson Nsumba Lyazi attended Makerere during a period of great political upheaval. Academic and administrative staff had fled into exile, and only a handful remained holding fort, doing their best to ensure that Makerere continued producing graduates despite the economic hardships that characterized that period. Specifically, the university plan 1980 to 1986 outlined efforts to introduce correspondence courses or distance education courses, which included external degrees. Distance education courses are particularly designed to take the university to the people. This was Makerere's way of recognizing the challenge at hand, and in response, extending the principles and quality of university education to the greater majority of people who are unable to attend full-time courses due to work, financial, and other obligations. This strategic move by the university would have inspired Robinson Nsumba Lyazi to pursue a postgraduate diploma in education immediately after completing his Bachelor of Science to enable him to teach physics and double math at secondary school level. Looking back, I think Nsumba Lyazi was not going to wait for the people to come to the university. He wanted to inspire them even before they embarked on their respective higher education journeys. As one who had witnessed firsthand what his parents' entrepreneurial skills had helped the family achieve, Robinson's exposure to higher education and science subjects in particular made him an ever strong advocate for the value that education adds our God-given talents. Education unlocks one's potential, and in doing so, opens many doors for the talent to shine even higher. In hindsight, it's no wonder that Robinson Nsumba Lyazi was a strong advocate for the competence-based curriculum and worked hard to ensure that its implementation gained traction before his retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Chancellor says, it's very important that our young men and women graduate with skills and competencies that empower them to make meaningful contributions to society. This morning, we are privileged to host members of the Education Policy Review Commission and make submission to the new macro policy framework that will replace the current government white paper on education 1992. It's therefore gratifying that on the very day we are taking time off to celebrate a trailblazer in the sector whose service exemplified the caliber professional education system ought to produce. Therefore, look forward to learning more from the keynote addresses as well as other speakers who have taken time to greet this event. With those few words, Vice Chancellor, says, once again welcomes you all to Makerere and wish you good listening as we build for the future. Thank you very much. May the good Lord God brought you here, return you safe, and try to keep alive.
Thank you very much, dear Vice Chancellor, Makerere University. Those of you may not know, Makerere University ranks very high according to global rankings. Somebody can help me Google quickly, but I know that is among the best universities. Professor Mugaga, thank you very much for telling us where you come from and for giving us such a moving speech. Professor, when you represent the Vice Chancellor, to me it indicates that you also have the potential of becoming one. And therefore, from today onwards, I want to pray for you. It may not be this very university, but any other great university in this world. And I know you have the potential. Nafuna okusomako ne Professor Mugaga oyo musajja mugezi nnyo. Twasoma ffenna ne tugenda naye ebweru e Sweden, naye ng'era ye bawuliriza ffenna abaliwo basinga kuwuliriza ye. Thank you very much, Professor, and thanks for keeping the candle burning. Professor, you talked of morality, which you call loose morality, and I kept asking, does it still remain morality when it is loose? I think the word morality goes now, and it becomes something else. Okay, anybody can do research on that. Thank you very much, dear Vice Chancellor, for welcoming us here. Basebode banyaba abayite bangi saafunye budde bwanjula ani naye ng'aboogezi abajja bwe bajja mujja kuwulira nga beeyanjula mitendera gye bavaamu. What is very clear is that we have political leaders here. Those who are not in yet will come. We have technical leaders from the Ministry of Education. I would have made them stand, but I know they are in here. We have leaders of the different education institutions, education associations. Nga bwe tunaazuulira Lipeya, Koheya, Ashu, tujja bamanya abakulembeze abo era n'abantu be bazze nabo nga bajja batulaga. Mu bakulu abali wano ne maama Nsumba Lyazi waani era alidinze famire gye tujja okumanya nga okwogera kutuuse. Among the dignitaries here are all people who worked with Mr. Nsumba, people who are friends to him, and all the others who wished him well and who continue to wish the family well. So allow me at this time to invite the coordinator of this event. I know it's a coordination team, but the team is going to be represented by Canon Dr. Charles Kahigiriza. Canon Dr. Charles, those are the only few titles I know, but I know you have about 8 titles. Because the other thing I also know is that you're a Rotarian like me. You could have been a president of a certain club, all those we can know as you come. But I also want to make a humble appeal to the subsequent speakers that we are also not doing so well on time because we lost a few minutes. So let's just try to do what is within the time that we have. Over to you, Dr. Aidis.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, Mr. Samakura, our chief guest, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, and all dignitaries present here. I recognize the protocol as it has been outlined by Master of Ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to stand here in 2 capacities. First, in my capacity as the chairperson of the Church of Uganda Heads of Educational Institutions Association, and also in the other capacity as one of the coordinators of this event. Church of Uganda Heads of Education Institutions Association, abbreviated as COHEA, is an association that unites all heads of institutions that were founded by the Church of Uganda. And it is organized at different levels: parish, archdeaconry, diocese, and the provincial level. I'm standing here because the late Nsumba Lyazi was a member of this association and the chairperson of this association. And I would like to thank the Ministry of Education and Sports, particularly the Director of Basic and Secondary Education, who asked me to be one of the coordinators and mobilizer of funds for this event. We have not got funding from any organization. All the funds we have used today and on Saturday, when we have the last funeral rites, have been mobilized from well-wishers, particularly heads of institutions and educationists. And yeah, we can clap for them. And I want to thank all of you for your generosity and kindness with which you responded when we came to you to request for funding. I would like also to use this opportunity to thank you for turning up for this meeting, for this first memorial lecture. And as the MC said, we shall have a number of these lectures, annual lectures, and we call on your support as we celebrate. I had the opportunity to work closely with the late Nsumba Lyazi when he joined the Ministry of Education and Sports as an Assistant Commissioner, Secondary Education in charge of comprehensive education. And it was around that time when I became a head teacher. First of all as a caretaker head teacher, and later as a substantive head teacher. And Nsumba was very instrumental in my career growth. And always gave me wise counsel, which helped me to progress in my career. And I remember him as a man, I remember his speeches, which were full of wisdom, was gifted. And as far as I know, he didn't study philosophy as Professor Mugaga, but he was a philosopher of his kind. And I always admired his philosophies, simple philosophies of life. And one of them I remember, he used to say that make friends before you need them. Make friends before you need them. Many of us get friends because there's something we want from them. But according to him, it is better to make friends before you need them. Because you know, you can never know how useful they will be to you. As the MC has warned us that we don't have time, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to point out the following individuals and institutions which have supported us, either in all ways. We want to recognize the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Katara Museveni, and the State Minister for Higher Education, for allowing us to hold this memorial lecture. The Permanent Secretary of Education and Sports has been very supportive, and the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University has been Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, has been very supportive. He has allowed us to use this facility, and he has been able represented by the principal of the College of Education and External Studies. I want to thank the family of the late Robinson Nsumba Lyazi for accepting our request. We don't take it for granted. They could have said that our father died and we don't want any more publicity, but they gracefully accepted our proposal to have this lecture. I want also to thank the Director of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Ismail Mningwa. He has been very supportive. We want to recognize Mr. Solomon Bumba, the coordinator of the Great Educators Forum. He has been very, very supportive. And members of the executive of the Great Educators Forum. And here I want to recognize the presence of Brother Godfrey Utaya, who can stand up for recognition, with the treasurer of the Great Educators Forum. And in this, here they mention myself, Canon Dr. Charles is a head teacher at DSS, chairperson of Korea, for mobilization and accepting to be the treasurer of this initiative. I want also to thank the director of Directorate of Industrial Training, Dr. Patrick Yapatonda. Yes, DIT has provided the catering services and the printing of the magazine. We also want to appreciate the patron of FENE. FENE is the Federation of Non-State Education Institutions for the keynote address. They are going to give us adjective. Thank you very much, and you are most welcome. I wish to thank proprietors of private schools in Uganda for their financial support of 3 million shillings. We want also to appreciate the chairperson, NAPEI, that is National Private Education Institutions Association, and the leadership for all the mobilizations they did. And we also wish to appreciate the management and staff of Sir Apple Kagwa schools for the support of 1 million shillings. And we want to express our condolences for the loss of our own educationist, Ajimosa Sewava. I wish to appreciate the schools and institutions that have supported us by advertising the Premier magazine, and these include the JSS, Makerere College School, St. Mary's College Lyazi, St. Cyprian, Chavakade, St. Mark's College, Namagoma, Mugwanya Preparatory School, Kaboja, Mtiana SS, Yoka Parents Secondary School, Mtiana, Lyazi Community SACO, Directorate of Industrial Training, Ministry of Education and Sports. Also wish to thank in a special way Reverend Nathan Morondo, the Education Secretary in Namibia Diocese, for the guidance and support in various ways. I wish to thank the media fraternity for all the publicity made to ensure that the late Robinson Nsumba Lyazi is remembered always. Various media houses are represented here, and we want to thank them and recognize their presence. Last but not least, we wish to thank the Commissioner, graduate schools and institutions, and the rest of the team for all the guidance and support. May the Almighty God reward you all. We pray that you all join us in Namgongo on Saturday and in Mitiana on Sunday for the last funeral rites. Thank you for your attention. For God and my country.
Thank you very much, Canon Dr. Charles Kahijiriza, Chairperson of the Church of Uganda Heads of Education Institutions, but also speaking to us on behalf of the coordinating team. In his speech, he mentioned the magazine, and just to show you that the magazine is here with us, I am told there's a team that will come in shortly with the copies. I haven't had a chance to open, but I feel it's a very heavy magazine, and I want to imagine that the key subject of discussion is the late Nsumba Lyazi. So a lot has been written around him, but I also imagine that the sponsors must have put some adverts here, either of the institutions they lead or where they work. When I quickly open, I see St. Mary's College Lyazi, and I saw the director, can you just wave? And where I'm singling him out because he's also my hobby, but also a Rotarian like me, and we belong to the same Rotary Club of Seta. So all the people in Mr. Senyuja's capacity who advertised here, please thank you very much for the support. And for the support we had Dr. Kahijiriza mentioned. I want to repeatedly inform us that the key leaders at the Ministry of Education may not be here with us, but they are with us in spirit, although some have indicated that they are on their way. Just to repeat what I again said, two important functions taking place right now. Preparation for release of PLE, a big team is there, but also another big team at Parliament to answer questions related to school fees. Thank you very much. One of the things I remember about Dr. and I often call him Dr. Nsumba Lyazi, is that he always moved with his smile everywhere. You'll never find him annoyed. And every time he was very smart. You just rarely find him dressed anyhow. So I think these are key qualities we really need to pick. Now moving on, in the interest of time, we want to invite the chair, Church of Uganda Heads of Education Institutions. And my imagination is that the previous speaker comes from the same institution, so he must have mentioned a lot around that organization. I'm wondering whether we still have another speaker on behalf of the same organization. Do we? No? Okay, thank you very much. So the speech of Church of Uganda Heads of Education Institutions was covered in Mr. Dr. Kahijiriza's speech. So that saves us on time, so we are now moving on to the chair, ASHU. And ASHU in full is Association of Secondary School Head Teachers of Uganda. May we have the head or the representative of ASHU coming to talk to us? Possibly they are still on the way. I know that the chair must be Brother Mugabo, the head teacher, St. Henry's Chito. And there's a bigger team here. We can see a few representatives of that association here, just by show of hands. You don't come to talk over here. Ashley? Yes, kindly stand for recognition. Association of Secondary School Head Teachers of Uganda. Thank you very much. They are ably represented, and those were very, very close colleagues of Mr. Nsumba Lyazi. Let's now get into a speech from the proprietors of Private Education Institutions Association of Uganda, the one abbreviated as PEYAU. PEYAU, thank you very much. And I know that being an association of private schools, this must have worked so closely with Dr. Nsumba Lyazi, because he was actually the director that also took charge of the department in charge of private schools and institutions. I made a humble appeal earlier that those who are just coming in would offer to come and take up his spaces, so that when this particular function is projected at CNN and Al Jazeera, they don't seem to see a half-empty auditorium. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
In the interest of time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
just to mention that the copy of the magazine goes for only 10,000 Uganda shillings. That is only a fifth of which is. So kindly hand it over. in the interest of the magazine.
The guest of honor on this occasion, the Vice Chancellor and host, distinguished members of the Ministry of Education, distinguished members of the Education Fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Kakawesa, the Communications Director for the Association which has mentioned here. Some of our members are here already, and members of the Directorate. One of them is Mr. Moses Senyonjo. Thank you for coming. And Mr. Chancellor, sir, I'm a proud graduate, double graduate of Makerere University, still who wants to pursue PhD. But at least I am a proud graduate of the Bachelor of Science Statistics with Economics, Makerere University, and a Master's in Economic Policy and Planning, Makerere University. A few others elsewhere. I will go straight to the speeches given to me by the members. The members have sent special regards. The chairman, Mr. Mike Chironde, is expected to be here, but he had something that was holding him back, and has sent special regards to the family of the fallen Nsumba Lyazi. He still says, be firm, be strong, we are together. I will read the speech, which is brief, verbatim. On behalf of private investors in the education industry in Uganda, it gives me great pleasure to be here today to take part in this special event commemorating and recognizing the distinguished service of the fallen Robinson Nsumba Lyazi to the education sector of our country, Uganda, particularly with the reference to his contribution to the development of the private sector, the private education subsector. I wish to congratulate the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Kataki Museveni, and the entire ministry for inaugurating a memorial lecture in recognition of the exceptional contribution made by the departed dedicated government servant and colleague. We also further advocate to the government for supporting and promoting the development and sustainability of the private education subsector with a policy on access to low-cost development and operating capital, mainly to achieve two things. One, to make the provision of education in the subsector more affordable, especially by the low-income families. And two, to enable a smooth implementation of the new lower secondary curriculum, which is honestly a good educational reform program, but foreseen to be rather expensive for both the implementers and consumers. Some of the above are the pillars on which the department was founded. For instance, at that time, the leadership was able to win the struggle to obtain a departmental vote and to create structures for partnerships, such as the Association of Secondary School Head Teachers. It is our sincere hope that this is just the new beginning of shaping and directing education in Uganda more collaboratively than authoritatively. I beg to move. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kawesa, representing the proprietors of private education institutions of Uganda. Mr. Kawesa, you left. I just wanted to know from you, Mr. Kawesa. Oh, Mr. Kawesa, on the mic, just tell us, because you are a proprietor and investor in education, which are the institutions that you invested in?
Sorry?
Which are the institutions that you invested in? You are. Yes,
I have one secondary school in Mitiana.
Just name it.
Kyoto Parents Secondary School, Mitiana, Kalanga Sub-County, at the border of Mitiana District and Chikoga District, in the village. Mr. Permanent Secretary of Education. Kyoto Parents is providing education, not saving education.
Okay. But I also know there are many other owners and founders of schools in here, and they all fall under that organization called the proprietors of private education institutions. He made so many appeals, and just to assure him, there are so many Ministry of Education officials in this space, and I've been listening in. Mr. Koesa mentions that if he wants to come for a PhD, the way he has presented, I have seen him already. He has some of the marks for that PhD. So just proceed and start on the PhD, Mr. Koesa. I'm told this function is live on YouTube. Just punch in the first Robinson Nsumba Lyazi audio lecture and you'll be there. We are now moving on to listen to. If you have brief remarks from Nepea, do you have Nepea in our space? Nepea? Okay. Kindly come and I am beginning to amend the time that I provided. Okay. And earlier on I couldn't mention 3 or 5 minutes, but the way things are moving, I'm beginning to award minutes. And Nepea, we shall use something in 2 minutes. I know you can really summarize. Nepea is National Education Institutions Associations of Uganda. Did I mention it well? Get the fact from you. Please proceed.
Thank you. The manager of this function. The PS, representation of the organizing committee, officials, distinguished officials from the Ministry of Education, my comrades in the fraternity, the family intellectuals, comrades from the private education and education fraternity. Allow me to greet you in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. I'm Chirabila Assad, National Chairman of the NPEA. NPEA is the National Private Education Institutions Association, the founder umbrella association of the directors of schools in Uganda that started in 1994 under the auspices of the late Professor Mchiri and the outgoing chairman, Mr. Mujumba John Bosco. So I'm the third chairperson of that association. Let me start by quoting Sir Benjamin Disraeli, a great novelist and a one-time Prime Minister of Britain in 1880, who said, "The legacy of heroes is the memory of a great name and the inheritance of a great example." I repeat, Sir Benjamin Disraeli said, "The legacy of heroes is the memory of a great name and the inheritance of a great example." Nsumba was a great man, as has been said. Greatness is a product of great dreams. You can't be great people without great dreams. He lived to accomplish his dreams and he walked his talk and his journey. I stand here to thank the Ministry of Education and the family, my brother here, for the initiative that has given the education fraternity a chance to review our memory in line of aggrandizing the role of the late Nsumba Robinson Lyazi. That turns out to be a great name, as I said, in the provision of basic education. We are thankful the organization and the mobilization of the Assistant Commissioner, Mr. Mutekanga, Judge William, for standing and ensuring that this move materializes. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, with due respect and humility, I can talk about Nsumba Lyazi first. As a father, as a foundation of the current private education sector we are cherishing today, I can talk about him
in as far as the private sector is concerned. That's where I understood him more. We worked with him, and our four leaders worked with him in line of that. I can talk about Nsumba as a pioneer head and commissioner of the private schools department, who fought tooth and nail to start the department from nowhere and logged it and logged for it. There was no department until the association I'm representing logged the president in one of the assemblies in Gulu that enabled us to reach at a conclusion and enabled the ministry to arrive at a conclusion of establishing the department. We are grateful that this great man championed, was a pioneer commissioner of this department, which was non-existent at a time when education had been liberalized in 1993 and our association started in 1994. He organized it, grew it, logged for it, and constituted the operational units. It was very difficult. I think you can see the manifestation of this man. He assumed the office at the time the sector was at its onset and he grappled with many challenges. Many owners of schools at this time had little knowledge in as far as quality education service provision is concerned. And Nsumba was already a head teacher who knew what to do. Many education institutions, head teachers and proprietors lacked clear guidance on how to professionally manage private education institutions. And private education institutions lacked a platform where they could share their grievances and challenges at that time, which were very numerous. Nsumba, with his accumulated wisdom and art of management and governance in schools all the way from Mitiana, managed to put us together, to start putting the sector together, and he did this. Because even after retirement, we welcomed him in the private sector and we started working with him in reorganizing the private schools that were moving off the line, and he accepted. He usually invited us and created a forum where we could go to deliberate many issues and challenges private proprietors were maneuvering with. And through this platform we could dialogue, we would deliberate on a number of issues that would result into good policies Mr. Kawesa was talking about. That saw the sector grow to its highest. The cherishing, the Professor Mugaga's cherishing, Professor Mugaga was my lecturer of philosophy. We used to cherish his ways of teaching philosophy. We see Nsumba in the many policy formulation of Education Act 2008, on Minister of Education Guidelines 2014, involvement in so many policies, frameworks, involvement in ensuring that private schools were moving with him to see how the marginalization of private schools at that time would be averted. So he helped us a lot in ensuring that private schools were licensed, were registered, and were legalized. Private schools get UNEP center numbers, get involved in the marking of the national exams, and so many other things. He ensured that private schools had representation that have run for years in UNEP, in NCDC. This was Nsumba, who wants to see that the sector is together and the sector surface in key areas that needed their presence. Therefore, I would like to say that at this moment, I think I'm good to summarize Nsumba as a great book, Nsumba as a great library, Nsumba as a great mind, Epstein, Nsumba as a humble, committed, disciplined, enthusiastic, duty-respectful, constructive person of integrity, who was resourceful, who was reliable, who was resilient, who was industrious, who was natural. Nsumba was natural, appeared in natural, did things naturally. He did not speak the Western English we hear today. He could speak the language you understand, and he could conclude issues.
I like the summary, Mr. Chairman.
In brief, he was a person of substance. Nsumba yali. We who worked with him, those who lived with him, his family, and we appreciated him in broad daylight. When he retired on 3rd of August 2018, he went to his home with these people. We strongly appreciated his work and appreciated him for working for his country and for our sector, and for molding us and streamlining the sector. With that, I want to thank the family and the Minister of Education for giving him an opportunity to serve his country, for giving him time. Mama, mkulu okumukiriza ate n'omuteekateeka n'azimba eggwanga lye ate n'atuzimba mu byenjigiriza. Tusaba Mukama amumuze emirembe for God and my country I submit.
Masomero kyagaffe amagambo botaka okubaganya n'okubagalira abaana bagenda musinga abaana
Nze butandisi w'amasomero aga City Junior Schools in Kampala and in Wakiso, and also the director of Kiara City High School.
Thank you very much. When we come to places, Haji Chidabira mentions that the Department of Private Schools and Institutions was created in the hands of Mr. Robinson Lyazi, and I know a number of members of that department are represented here. Remember, I earlier told you that the big municipal team is in State House over issues of fees. But another big team is also with Mama, sorting out the issues of releasing exams. So may I just request the few who are here from the Private Institutions Department, just stand and wave to us. Private Education and Institutions Department, created by, yes, it was of course made by the Staff Commissioner, I see my brother, Mr. Henry. I see a fresh PhD graduate, Mr. Derek, and I see the principal, Mr. Madam Harriet. The rest are with us in spirit. Thank you very much. May I request that you stand up for only 30 seconds? The medical people say it is valuable. If you can, for those who can't. May you just ask the neighbor what some of these resolutions of 2023 are? Ask the neighbor, possibly can share something. But don't copy the other one resolution. Maintain yours. Okay, kindly sit. Kindly sit. And ladies and gentlemen, I apologize in advance that we don't introduce every person here by name, but by constituency. But I'm glad to inform you that we have a very, very senior elder in our midst, none other than, I'm sure the guest of honor will talk more about his person. He's one of the big team at the Education Service Commission, the commission that actually employs most of us that work in the education sector and government. Very much welcome, Director Governor. Yes, those of you who have been in the education sector for some time really know how. Now, we want to get to the family to know a little bit, but I know that the family will tell us more on Saturday when we go for the day. For now, I'm inviting Mr. Lyazi, Geoffrey, Nsumba, but I know that since he's speaking for the family, the other family members should come and just be bouncers around here. Yes, as he starts that speech. So may I have sisters and brothers just back him up, although I'm giving him 3.5 minutes also, as we head into the real lecture now from the keynote speaker.
As they come, thank you so much, EMC. When I grew up, I want to be like you. Thank you so much. Protocol observed, they told us to be additional this time. Thank you so much, because I'm going to go through the protocol when I'm actually thanking you. Because our main aim here is to appreciate, is to thank you. That is the first objective. To thank you, to appreciate you, and to acknowledge you for whatever you have done for our dad
and to ourselves, because we have been always giving a helping hand. So first of all, I'm standing here on behalf of the following. Some have come already, but first of all, we come from the Mpini clan. That is the first thing. We are Waganda from the Mpini clan, and I'm here on your behalf. Akabiro Chiyingiro. Jaja Ferimaziki. Era Chikiriddwa Katikkiro. So we are here as Waganda from the Mpini clan. So when we talk, emulate an Mpini clan. We are normally few, but of substance. Number two, we are here on behalf of the late Jackson Lyazi family, because that was our first family. Representative from the Lyazi family, our dads, our aunties, that is number one. So we always call our Jaja Nakaiga Edith Lyazi and Jackson Lyazi. That's why we're here. Secondly, we are here because of the family of Nsumba, Lyazi. The family is here. Mama couldn't come up here. You can wave. So that is the reason why we are here, because of that family. And you see, those who are backing me up are from the family. Secondly, from the family of late Majwara, our judge is around. The representatives of the late Majwara's family stand up for recognition. The late Majwara. So you can see that is the family where our mama comes from. So because of those two families, we are, okay? Then we are here because of the Mitiana community. Our father originated from Mitiana, and we cannot forget that. I see the people from Mitiana. Can you stand up? Mitiana fraternity, well represented. And then,
and among the Mitiana fraternity, I see proprietors of schools.
Sure.
Hey, one of those I'm very sure I know is this very one here. And I know you know his school.
Yes.
Okay, what I don't know is that I know all his sons and daughters.
Sure. So the Mitiana fraternity, you're welcome. Then the other fraternity is of Namugongo, where we have been always. People from Namugongo? Yeah, you can move. So we are here basically for those key activities of appreciating you and thanking you, and straight away we are going to start thanking the Ministry of Education, where our father has worked entirely. The entire life of our father has been the ministry, from a grassroots teacher to where he has retired from as a director. So, ministry of officials who are here, please can you, don't really get tired of letting you stand up for recognition. So can you stand again, led by our father, something, you deserve the heart, you deserve the heart. He has done us very, very wonderful and great things, and we cannot stop appreciating you. Okay? Then the others, we are going to thank the great educators. We cannot really forget that. Let us really talk a few, but be thankful. The great educators, we cannot thank you enough. Led by Dr. Kahidi. And then recently, Mr. Nsumba. I cannot forget Mr. Nsumba. We have learned so many things from those people, really. They have taught us how to cooperate, how to do things very fast, very accurate, and on time. So we appreciate it. Then the others, we cannot really forget the Church of Uganda. Church of Uganda. From the Teachers Association of Church of Uganda, please. We appreciate it. Then I saw Mr. Reverend Murondo. Actually, that is my priest, where I come from. So I'm happy to learn that he's the secretary at the diocese. We appreciate it. Then we cannot forget ASU. Those who have been making speeches here, we just stamp and acknowledge that whatever they have said is really what our dad was, okay? Then, we are here for the Lyazi community. We
elaborated on the word Lyazi, and it means the following. 1. Lyazi, for L, we talked about loyalty and leadership. Was a term saying that he was a loyal person, he was a great leader. 2, he used to tell us why. Why is, let us always yield as a group. Yield together. Yield with everyone. The A. Who has never achieved with Lyazi? Lyazi was an achiever. Lyazi was an accountable person, wasn't he? So Lyazi was that. Z. People have been talking about resilience. Or resilience. That is the Z. Then the I. That man was of integrity, wasn't he? The man was of integrity. So pray for us, so that we become men and women of substance and of integrity. That was Lyazi. Then, what were the dreams of Lyazi? Lyazi wanted, number 1, because we are here in the of that person, okay? Lyazi wanted all his children educated before he could depart. Who doesn't have a degree? All those who are here have degrees. Did he achieve? He wanted a legacy home in Kampala. Don't we have where we stay? We are in Namgongo, he achieved that. And when you visit our home, it is really a legacy home. Number 3, he wanted an ancestral burial ground. Those who buried, those who went there, you realized it. So he achieved. Then, fourthly, he wanted a productive land to support the whole family you see here and the family at Mitiana. He acquired over 150 acres in Musuju, and he has started being productive. Actually, he left when he had planted trees on all that land. So he achieved. Okay? Then, another one, he wanted a vocational school or an institute of vocational studies. This one, he went when he had not achieved. So the onus is on us. And you support us as we launch this foundation. Okay? Then lastly, he wanted a circle. You remember the why I told you that yield together? Mr. Mtekan has been always saying that wave this hand to never make noise. But when, check the impact. So he wanted us to form a circle. That circle is running. Those who have magazines, you have seen our advert. That one, he went, and that's why he left us when we had started the circle, and he failed to attend the launch of it. But at the launch of the circle, he told us, as we summarize these R's, and every one of us here has 1 R. So I'll just read 1 R, and then you put up your one. And the 2 R's are for Mama and himself. So it's for respect. So whenever you see Eva here, this is Nakai Eva. If he doesn't respect you, question her. Okay? Then being resourceful, my friend, if people don't get resources from you, you're in trouble. Reliability. Our sister here, Juliet, Namugen, the other one is Seju Koroni. Our sister here is Juliet. Please be a reliable person. Okay? Then R5 is relevant. My brother, try to be relevant wherever you go. I'm not telling you particularly, but even you. Then number 6 is resilience. Our sister Rachel. Now the other one is Robert Joel Miova. Then this is Rachel on resilience, the miracle. Yeah, we must really push on. Okay? Then 7th was being result-oriented. Who's for results? I think you can see results. This is Narwanga Rebecca. Then 9 was reflect. always reflect. Our brother Isaac Jombwe has done us well. He has always told us to always reflect on what we do. Even after he is going to tell us, can we reflect? Did we really make an impact? Okay? Then, being religious, my brother here, Philip Cheswa, you can, even the way he's putting on, you can think he's a reverend. But we thank God for that. And then, for Mom's hour was being responsible. Mommy always told us that there are 3 key issues in relationships. You first love, trust, and be responsible. You can lose the 2, but never lose that of responsibility. Because now he has no love and trust for the late, but he's still responsible for us. Okay? Then for that it was being logical and reasonable. That was a great art. That whatever you do, try to put in some logic, some reason that what will be the impact, what will be the result. Okay? And then lastly, mine, being rich. Rich not in money only. Money, discipline, and people. Okay? So those are the last words he told us to pass on to the people. Because he had always these talks, like these talks every year. But that year, he couldn't. Okay? So he told us, this is my packet. And we have put that packet in that book in more details. Okay? As we wind up, let us talk about our Father in the word itself. The word Father. Someone who can write it vertically, you can see that our Father was fair. Wasn't he fair to you people? If he was, always be fair to others. 2, he was accountable. And accountability doesn't mean only money. It means being accountable for your actions and what you do to others. Okay? Then 3, he always told us to speak the truth. Be true. Okay? Then be honest, be ethical, and respect yourself, others, and property. As we wind up, our Father told us that when you join the world, you enter into the world, you stay in it, and you exit. Isn't it? So he told us, as you are emulating those 3 steps in life, enter into the community, stay in it, but at one time you must exit. And always recall Martin Luther, the king, who always said, if you can't fly, jump. If you cannot jump, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But keep on moving. Pray for us that we keep on moving for God and our country.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A real reflection of the late Robinson Nsumba Lyazi. I read the errors and I kept running all of them in order to confirm what they write about the person we are talking about. I was a teacher in Gombe State many years ago, and when I went to the ministry, I didn't come through interview first. He just identified me and said, you come over here, we can work out the interview later. But when I went for the interview, Nsumba was the head of the panel that I went to. I don't know whatever I did. Yeah, I just put my interview in God's hands, but at the end of the day, I passed with flying colors. And I'm very sure Dr. Mr. Nsumba, yes, must have added to my person in any way. Whatever he saw in me, I don't know. But wherever he is, he knows that he made a contribution. Thank you very much. Dr. Mugaka, you told us your father had 8 wives. I wonder whether you're carrying on with that legacy as well. We need to carry on with the legacies of our parents, just like the team here has told us. Anyway, we shall discuss more about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 3 events
to end our day, one of which is the most critical that actually brought us here, which is the keynote address, which also doubles as the lecture. In the written program, I can see that memory lane was meant to come early, but we've heard enough about the memory to this person. Let's in the meantime receive the keynote address, then we shall get to the memory lane as we wind up. Owner of vehicle UP1106B, there's a person who wants to leave and you are close to them. Kindly go and adjust. Thank you very much. May I now take the honor to invite our keynote speaker this evening on the subject Robinson Nsumba Lyazi. And this person is none other than Hajat Zawj Difna, one of the members and I guess the chairperson of FENEI. Hajat is a well-known teacher, a well-known mentor, a parent, a counselor, a very committed Muslim woman. We look forward to listening to you. Please take the podium. Technology. Okay, just continue saying hello to your neighbor. Especially the one you've taken long without meeting. Okay, we are there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
One thing I forgot is that when the science demands, you can take the steps and exit by that route, and you'll find all the places for convenience up that side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MC. The chief host of this special day in our lives as educators, representing the Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, allow me in the interest of time not to be so elaborative about the protocol. But for special reasons, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize, as he's walking out, if you look at the screen, I'm a student, and he is one of my lecturers. And then in our meeting, Professor Musaz, if you could lower the mask, please, and may I see you, the father of the East African School of Higher Education, that is at the bottom. Colleagues who I have looked at ahead of me and have greatly inspired me, Dr. Sengi, please stand up for the recognition. Dr. Charles, please stand up for the recognition. Brother Senyojo. Yeah, you saw me when I was a small girl, when I had just left college and I started teaching in Kawempe Muslim Senior Secondary School. So we moved with you that journey. And my mother, indirectly, who doesn't know, Mrs. Governor. Please stand up for recognition. Mama, Chara, Omugenzi Nsumba Lyazi, Damuka Ntobawulire Kajambo. Jogedde Luganda si lwakuba kitamanyi, but she's a professional midwife. Colleagues in the education service industry, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. My boss, I recognize you and your team as well. Without your guidance and supervision, we wouldn't stand as strong educators in this country. My name is, like you can see, I'm Hajat an educator, and a very good friend to the late Nsumba Lyazi. He really saw me through my journey. I worked for government for only 3 years, 2 years after my qualification, and then I crossed over to the private sector. But since 1995, he followed me and my progress until I made sure I went for his burial. That was me and Nsumba Lyazi. I'm therefore greatly honored to be here to speak to you as a keynote address speaker. Not because I'm going to speak so many things that are different from what others have said. In fact, they've done a great job for me. And si bino byagamba nti abantu babongerako birungi nga bafudde. But for Nsumba's journey, indeed, it was what you have seen here. For parents who are in our midst, it takes a lot to rise up these big men and women who can stand and speak. I want to give them a round of applause. What do we pick from that? Today, if you look at your family closely, shall we have people to stand and speak like this about us after we have left? So parents who are in our midst, there is a lot to learn. We are not going to speak about it. A lot has been spoken. So allow me, colleagues, to take you through who Nsumba Lyazi was. Robinson, it's now a year since he went to meet his creator. But his services still echo in our minds, like has been ably presented by the people who have spoken about Nsumba Lyazi. For those of us who witnessed his handover in 2018, we believed that he really was contented that he had played and walked his journey through successfully. IT people, I want to give this address as people can really hear that this is not my computer. I don't know why you did use it. So people should be able to hear. Like you have heard, and I have said, that those who have spoken before me have made my journey and my presentation. This is one of his brothers. People will be Chana, we want to hear what the brother speaks about Robinson and his family. Can you work on the volume? He had done this job for over 60 years. The mother was a housewife, and therefore able to grow and discipline her children very well. Nsumba being one of. Are you there? How many? Okay, we are going to proceed. So he went to Bukanaga Nursery and junior school for his primary, where he excelled among the best in Mubende district. He joined Mityana Secondary, where he sat for his senior 4. But because Mityana did not have HSC at that time, he was taken or brought to Kampala to study from Kololo SS for his HSC. Hardworking, young man, he really made it to Makerere University, this great institution, where he pursued a Bachelor of Degree in Science, majoring in mathematics and physics. He was one of the first graduates in their lineage. See what he did, Madam Jana. First graduates in their lineage. He immediately enrolled for a postgraduate diploma in education to really become a teacher, a professional teacher. I'll have that one later. His professional career and progress. Nsumba Lyazi was passionate about teaching right from his early age. After concluding Senior 6 in his vacation, the then head teacher of Mityana invited him to teach fellow students, which he comfortably took on, and he became very, very inspirational. Very inspirational. So, after completing the bachelor's degree and the diploma, comfortably, he was invited back into his own school. He's a man who loved Mityana. Nsumba to this date, even within the town, he's a person who loved where he comes from. Indeed, there is a lesson to pick again. How many of us look back from where we have come from, that he loved his home area? And when he got on to becoming a teacher, he worked very hard. He rose through the ranks of a teacher in an education institution. From being a classroom teacher to becoming a warden. In fact, the current head teacher who is there, Mr. Nsereko Sane, I hope he's around. He had promised to come over. He was his warden when he was a student, the current head teacher, and Nsumba was one of the teachers in that school. So he later became the deputy head teacher in the same institution. And finally, not to take long, the head teacher in that very institution. But during his tenure as a head teacher of that school, the people Kujaro, they have a lot to speak about Nsumba. He knew he was there to serve his community. He was there to serve his people. He was there to serve the people who saw him grow. Even those who were very poor and had lost hope to educate their children, he would devise means of seeing how best to help them, even if it meant bringing beans. cleaning the school. That was Nsumba. Practically had love for his people in his area, and the love, the wish, the will to educate Mitiana Lyazi, if that term is there. Children born on the soil of Mitiana, Yabagana Nyo, Nabawumikso. He was a teacher in the secondary school. But when we spoke to the people of the primary school, as we were there to do this research, they told us that he would get children who are late going to the primary school and first of all take care of them, punish them, ask them why they are late, and then told them to proceed to go to the primary school. So Nsumba was not on the classroom teaching. So he was a head teacher of Mitiana from 1986 up to 2000. But during this time, the school attained a lot of glory, enrollment, academic performance, status. Remember, he was there when it was strictly O level, and it is him who worked hard to uplift the status of the school, infrastructure, discipline, community relevancy, and corporate responsibility. Today, Mr. Commissioner, you give people schools to head where you are giving them a lot of resources, and then you know what happens. Hardly making a contribution. Can we hear at least from the head teacher of this great institution where Mr. Nsumba worked? I'll be grateful if we are able to hear from Mr. Nsereko, the current head teacher, about the level of education of Mr. Nsumba. Please. Can't I do that from here? Some bit of audio.
Jeneza okumanyukira obulungi nti yaliko hostel master kubanga naye nga nayingira mu ssomero lino nga student nga hostel master era naye nakayingira musula wiiki bbiri n'anoga okubeera hostel prefect. Oluvannyuma lwakabanga afuuka deputy, nzayita myezi mitono n'afuuka deputy. Ate obwa deputy bwezamalamu nga mu mwaka mukaaga mu n'ekitundu n'afuuka head teacher. Nabeera nga badde head teacher ebbanga era mweri yakola ebintu bingi. Era yakolera wano emyaka egisukka mu 40. Teyasomesaamu mu ssomero ddala lyonna, era teyakoleraku mu ssomero ddala lyonna. Yakolera mu ssomero lino lyokka okuva wano n'agenda butereevu ku ministry, yakolera emirimu gye kutuusa lwe yayitira.
Kindly stop there because of time. But today, even when you go to the internet and ask Mr. Google about the private department, the Ministry of Education, they will say the commissioner is Nsumba. I want to challenge our bosses in charge of that to put it right. but it will still say, Mr. Google still says that the Commissioner of the Private Education Department in Ministry of Education is Mr. Nsumba, Lyazi. So I want to challenge the members. I think this one you can let it go. He was an effective teacher, responsible, and really encouraged learners to become productive. He encouraged employees to work hard because he needed to see the institution grow. This gentleman here is a head teacher of, we can play that as people are having something. You want to?
N'olwekyo bwe tutuuka okumaliriza yajja n'atutegeeza mu mirimu gyaffe mityana gyebiri muteeka okudya bisomese baganda bammwe bebaniramu. Nze nasooka nembuuza nti asaaga ati ngenda nefuna n'omulimu omulala nasona yali aveerukyera bamuyita mwami Senkoole yali ku Makai College. Naye baasomesezaayo emyezi ng'ebiri nga ndi mu kibiina ne bateeka master okutuuka mu ofisi ya mwami Senkoole nga mwami Nsumba yalimu n'agamba nti taatawo akugambye osomese baganda nsomesa biology ne chemistry. Ngenda okutuuka wano obala okusomesa biology ne chemistry omugula nti nze wakubi bamuyita mwami Keya etuta
yayagalizanga nnyo abantu b'emityana bwe muwa we muli mukubireko omugalo. Everything good we wish it to happen and take place in Mityana. He pursued his studies, continued, got a master's degree. He went to UK and studied issues related to management, and no wonder we see his 40-year journey in the service as being successful. Interestingly, like I have noted, he was born to almost an illiterate couple. But we today, who are failing and disappointing the community, like Professor Mugaga has said, it is indeed a disappointment. The speakers before have attested to this. But even when we went to Mityana, indeed they showed us the chair in which he used to sit. And it is Robinson who brought the culture of the Church of Mityana having a special place for a head teacher. That chair you see is where Mr. Nsumba used to sit. Era kati bwe bateri bamanya nti headmaster w'emityana takoze eki tasanye culture yalitandikawo ekyala bamanya nti takoze eki. He is a father, a family. Mama mumulabi. By the time he died, he was a grandmother. So he is a grandfather. He is survived by that widow, a midwife by profession, the children who are looking up to all of us who gained from Robinson Nsumba Lyazi. Those are some of the roles he played while he was alive, energetic, serving. Robinson, I have interest in that paragraph, was calm. Nobody doubts that. In spite of his level, up to wherever he rose to, being the director, he was calm. He was a good listener. He was a smart guy. He was a smart guy. He was punctual. You make an appointment with him, you You come late, 5 minutes, you miss him. Disciplined and a disciplinarian. Religious, social, trustworthy, reliable, approachable, respectful, dependable, loving, caring, cooperative, and a mentor. Every time he would see you, he would be happy and willing to listen and to learn about your progress. The son has a lot to say. In the interest of time, we leave that. Now to us in the private department, indeed, he was one person who fought for the unity of private education institutions in this country. Our sector is characterized by so many challenges, the private sector, and one of them is the lack of unity. We are still struggling. That is the initiator of this umbrella body in which I have come, the Federation of the Non-State Education Institution, fighting for unity, to improve on our lobbying power, to improve on our relationship, because when he took the office of being the commissioner of this department, it was his responsibility to ensure that he leads and guides people who are together. That was his prayer. Mr. Commissioner, sir, we pray that we conclude the journey which he initiated. Very many private schools, those are some of the benefits that he really was looking towards to make sure that we achieve them. Indeed, he was a great man. The question therefore is, what kind of legacy are we today working for and planning to leave behind that will be talked about our works? Ladies and gentlemen, it is all our prayer that Nsumba Lyazi, his creator, rewards him abundantly for the good works that he did for his country. I thank you so much for being a good audience. I will share this presentation with our colleagues and whoever is interested, so that you really get the feel of what people speak about this great man. We pray that his journey and fruits continue to spill over and over and over. In my faith, today, sadaka to jariya, a sadaka that keeps on flowing. That you plant something, for example, you plant a tree, everybody who eats on that tree, the Almighty rewards the person who planted that tree. For the contribution he made to all of us, we pray that the God gives him the share of all the good works that we are passing on to this nation. I thank you so much for listening to me, for God and my country, and may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you very much, Father. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The ancestral ground we spoke about is that one. That is where our colleague Nsumba Lyazi was laid.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajaz. Thank you for the speech, the moving speech, and thank you for all the fantasy. I know you are a very, very busy lady, but offering to come and give us this one was really a great one. When you look at our program, we have about 3 key things to do to conclude. We have a memory lane, which I said will come as we conclude. But then we shall also have a speech from a person who is going to play 3 roles. He is himself
a commissioner of private schools and institutions, but is also delegated to represent the Permanent Secretary and the Minister of Education, who is busy handling the other two activities, and he is also representing Honorable Muyingo, because the Honorable made a call a while ago that he may not make it. Otherwise, I wonder how a math teacher can have all those praises. Very few mathematics teachers get those praises. Children are normally in trouble with math teachers. I remember when I was still a teacher, the teacher put an equation that was difficult on the blackboard one time, and about 3 kids tried it out and failed. And then he pointed at one to come and solve it. And the one who he called was actually always the last in class. But creative as he was, he simply came to the front, picked the duster, and solved the equation by rubbing it off the ground. Wasn't the equation solved? I think it was, and these are challenges our teachers get, especially those that teach math. Mr. Mteka, or you have something you forgot to say?
You have been allowing people to pay for some announcement.
Okay, yes.
I'm the director of Mbogo Schools, Mbogo High School, Mbogo Mid School, Mbogo Secondary School, Mbogo College School, and Mbogo Junior School. A journey which I worked with Mr. Nsumba, Lyazi.
Thank you very much.
My colleagues from the Federation, please stand up and wave to the audience. Moses Ibanda and Patrick Kawere.
This one is the usual suspect in many of this discussion. Mr. Patrick Kawere here. Thank you very much. Okay, since it is Kalango time, my big brother, just today Kalango.
Thank you very much. I'm Seno Levander, and I'm Director of Mitiana College.
Mitiana College Chikumbi is among the best performing schools in that region. Thank you very much for taking those students with you. Mr. Mteka, you are the great person representing yourself, the Commissioner of Private Schools and Institutions, the PS, Honorable Muyingo, and Mama. So come in all those capacities and talk to us. Meantime, I want to recognize Dr. Nsumba, a retired but not tired educationist. Thank you very much for always being with us. I know that beyond those administrative roles, is an expert in music, dance, and drama. So whoever wants a star to coach him, please get to him. Yes, our chief guest, please talk.
Actually, you almost had my dream. Before I make any remark, I want to Dr. Sam to come and say hello to this congregation. And I will tell you why I call him Sam. As he comes, we put our hands together and thank him to come.
Thank you very much, George. In the interest of time, I refer you to page 12 of that magazine, what I would have said here. But now, in the interest of time, two things. One, to thank George. Please put your hands together. Why do I request you to thank George? George is a man who has not forgotten what the late Nsumba did for him. Now that I'm out of government services, I can say this one freely. I worked with Mr. Mteka by the Kampala City Council schools, and we did a lot of work there. So at one time I went to the ministry on promotion. Then at one time things went bad in KCCA, and people had to leave, including Mr. Mteka. So one day I was thinking about him and the services we had rendered to KCCA. And then I found him busy looking for where to go. I said, come to the ministry. And coming to the ministry, interviews were going to take place. So I tipped my brother, because somebody else happens to be my brother, by the way. So brother, I'm going to work. I don't say to Chicken and George, but then I get a please, you feel free. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mtekanga George is with us in the ministry because of the legacy of Nsumba Lyazi. But I am here to thank him very, very sincerely, because without his support, enthusiasm, and thought, I think this memorial lecture would not have been what it is. George webale okuterabira genda maaso bwotyo mutekanga muterabira. Yes. Secondly, I want to now nga Katikkiro w'ekika ky'Empindi, Nsumba Lyazi abadde musajja wa Mpindi, abaana mubalabe wano. Tweddira Mpindi akabbiro Kibindiru, jjajjaffe ye Mazige, obutaka bwaffe buli Muyenje mu Busiro. And Nsumba Lyazi has been a very, very supportive member of the clan. Ng'ensonga z'ekika zonna Nsumba Lyazi azifukiramu. Nolwekyo abaana tubasaba goberera ebyo taata byabadde agoberera. Era jjajja Maziga antumye nnyo okubalaba ne yeebaza nnyo kino kye tukola wano olwa Nsumba Lyazi muzzukulu we. Era tubasaba mujje ku Lwomukaaga tubeerewo nga twabya olumbe lwa Nsumba Lyazi. Tujja kusulamu ku Lwokutaano ate ku Lwomukaaga tubeere n'omusika. Naye banne mubeerewo ate mwongere nnyo okwagala famire eno. Abafamire bagamba kimu nti olusala ekyayi luleetera munyeera okusaasaana. Olumba olututa Nsumba Lyazi buleme kubasaasaanya. Musigale kitole, tusigale wamu, nammwe n'ab'emikwano tubeere famire emu ezimba olutege nga Nsumba Lyazi bwe yayagala ennyo. Ebirala mubisome page 12 biyinza okwogera ku Nsumba Lyazi. Naye mwe okujja mwebale nnyo okumuwa ekitiibwa Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale.
N'akalango k'essomero lyaffe kali akalango k'essomero lyaffe kufeekitero kakubira eddala.
Ladies and gentlemen, come to Mivule schools. Mivule Mutungo, Mivule Kisubi. We provide the best education quality to those young ones, including the skills. We are skills-based primary schools. God bless you.
Now, as not only as a commissioner, but also as a representative of the Director of Basic and Secondary Education, a representative of the Permanent Secretary, and the Minister, I want to invite my colleagues to come and make this speech together. Members from the Ministry of Education, private schools and institutions, department.
There are also those from other departments, including the Commissioner of Higher Education, Mr. Timothy
Sejola. Can you please come forward? Ministry of Officials.
Mr. Timothy, a former deputy teacher at Gaza High, now principal of Government School Department. The Harriet, whom I introduced earlier, the David. The son would be Henry Bishop.
As the academic Sejola, excuse me, Mr. MC, Sejola will be tipped. He represents each council, so he's the boss of the Vice Chancellor. So the boss is here. So one Sejola will be the reason why.
And I also work at the same ministry.
I'm happy. At least I'm not alone. On behalf of the Minister of Education and Sports, on behalf of Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, on behalf of Honorable Justice Ningo, who was supposed to be with us, but due to conflicting activities that you have been told by the MC, he has delegated to the director, and the director was calling me as I was there. He says he's coming, but because of time, our Vice Chancellor has another engagement. So we decided to do this. So you'll find us whenever you find us. I want in a special way, first of all, to recognize the protocol of the representative of the Vice Chancellor and my teacher, Professor Mugaka. Please, you are most welcome to this function. And we want to thank you very much for giving us this time. So I think we're going to In a special way, I want also to recognize my professor, Professor Lyazi. Again, thank you very much for coming and honoring this function. We owe you a lot as your students, both at Masters and PhD. And I want to thank you very much for what you have done for us. In a special way, I also want to recognize Dr. I'll begin with my mother, Elizabeth Kabona. You gave me this job as a commissioner, so I want to thank you very much. Mr. Samu just gave me tip, but this one was made it real. Mama Kabona, I want to thank you very much. I know we met last week and you promised to come. Thank you very much for your position to get time and come for your good friend, Robinson Nsumba. I want to recognize in a special way Dr. Beatrice Yamtaga. That's also another member of the Education Service Commission. Beatrice, we have a lot in common, but I want to thank you very much for the struggle, and I know for what you are doing for us as the Minister of Education and Sports. In a special way, I want to recognize Mama Nsumba Lyazi, Ruth, Lyazi, someone we have to be able to do. Nobody is a column, no, and nobody wear out. I need to have a because of my without wasting the team. It's about not getting the reason why. In a special way, proud of recognizing again Dr. Senville. Thank you very much for coming. I want to recognize Dr. Charles Aidiza, who was very instrumental in this activity. In a special way, I want to recognize Reverend Brother Godfrey Retire. Can you stand up for recognition? Reverend Brother Godfrey Retire, you gave me a very important person in this occasion. That is so Nsumba. Can you stand up for recognition? And I'm sure we have not let you down. I have several speeches here with me, but you are going to allow me to summarize. But before we summarize these speeches, you allow me to make my comments, all our comments. I want to recognize also my colleagues here behind me. And Mr. Timothy Sejoa is the Commissioner for Higher Education. Please, you're most welcome. We have Mr. Julu Ronald, is the Principal Education Officer. Please, you're welcome. We have Madame Harriet, the honorary lady in this team, Senkai, the Principal Education Officer. You're welcome. We have none other than Eric Jita, Senior Education Officer and Minister of Education. You're welcome. We have Edwin Mukisha, the Senior Education Officer. You're welcome. And lastly, we have our Master of Ceremonies, Henry Semakla, Senior Education Officer. I want, in a special way, to our Vice Chancellor to first of all thank everybody that has made this day. Want, in a special way, thank those who have been able to come here. Want to thank the Almighty God for empowering us to have this good day. We know it's not easy these days. This activity was done in January, when everybody is, January is known as one of the driest months. Although it has drizzled outside, but financially we have challenges. And I want to thank in a special way Madame Zauja, Hajat, Difuna, Rebecca, Mogosku's director, for accepting, despite your busy schedule, to make our keynote address. I want to recognize in a special way our partners in the private sector, the private schools and institutions. I'll begin with course, Fenel, Mr. Patrick Kaboyo, stand up for recognition, and their team. We want to say, we gave you the opportunity. You are a federation of all the associations, and Nsumba Lyazi was instrumental. So your presence here is enough testimony. We want to thank Piao, the proprietors of private education institutions, led by Mr. Kawesa Christopher and Senior Isaac Chiima. Please stand up for recognition. I know you are representing a very big team that is not here. We want to thank my brother Chiravira Asadu. Can you stand up for recognition for the good presentation you have made and for the wonderful team you have made? I want to recognize also the partners that supported us during the production of the magazine. We had 10 partners who advertised with us in the process of getting this. And in a special way, I want to recognize Mr. Martin Meiko. Can you stand up for recognition of the head teacher for Makerere College School? I want to thank St. Mary's College, Lyazi, for the recognition. We have St. Mark High School, Namagoma. Unfortunately, Damudida is around. I understand he lost his in-law. So, may his soul rest in peace. We want to recognize Benji Senior Secondary School. Dr. Kaidi is not that support. We want to recognize Chiocha, Parent Secondary School, Mr. Kawesa. We want to recognize there are 9 partners, but some of them offend. However, you have seen the magazine, everybody that has participated, and one thank you very much for that initiative. Professor Mugaga, I wanted just to say why. First of all, everybody knows that this is a public lecture, and for none other than Robinson Nsumba Lyazi, and why does it take place here? Why, and why Makerere? I was very delighted when you gave us the background and you said that Professor Nsumba Lyazi was a predecessor of one of your great-grandfathers, Kawere and somebody else, so in the 1950s and 60s, who were the head teachers of Mutiara Secondary School. So Nsumba Lyazi becomes one of your, is in the footsteps of your great parents. So that linkage alone is enough testimony that you are linked to Robinson Nsumba Lyazi, and we actually appreciate. Number 2, Nsumba Lyazi went to Makerere University for both his degree and his master's. And as has been mentioned by Madam Hajat Sauja, he was one of the best students in mathematics, and he also started the Association of Mathematics Teachers Association, where he has done well, and we are proud of him. In a special way, we appreciate the family of the late Nsumba Lyazi, to appreciate that while we are preparing to organize the last funeral rites of the late, we also decided to have an activity as the Ministry of Education and Sports to recognize the good work that was done by the late Nsumba. And we believe that everybody that is here, he or she has a reason why he's here, and we therefore appreciate your time, we appreciate your effort, we appreciate your contribution, and we pray that the living Lord gives him wonderful peace of rest. Before I read this official speech, I just wanted also to, in a special way, to thank our hosts, Makerere University, Professor Musa Mugaga. We want to convey our gratitude to the Vice Chancellor. First of all, when we wrote officially, the PS wrote to the Vice Chancellor, of course, this place is hired and at a very big cost, but it was given to us free of charge.
it is not very easy to get this opportunity, but one has to deliver this opportunity and say, we are very grateful on behalf of the Ministry of Education, and we are proud of that. We want also to conclude by saying, I want to thank my colleague, Dr. Kaidiza. I had also thanked some groups of people that supported us financially, morally, physically, and otherwise. But in a special way, I just wanted to recognize the Sir Apple schools. I don't know whether they are represented here. Yes, can you start up for recognition? You are Kasada. Mr. Kasada, please come forward for recognition. Some of our schools lost their director as to 1 month ago, 40 days ago, and on Sunday,
we had the work.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say, but as it's coming, I want to thank Sir Apple Kaba schools that despite the fact that they lost their director, and on Sunday they were able to contribute 1 million shillings to this fund. We want to thank you very much and convey our gratitude for the continued support, and I'm sure this department and the ministry will continue supporting you despite the challenges that you're going through. Thank you very much for coming and also for honoring our invitation. I want to read the speech for the minister, and at the end of the day, then we'll call it a day. Protocol has been observed. I would like to begin my remarks with a quote from 2 Timothy, that's chapter 4, verse 7, which says that I have fought a good fight, and I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. It is now a year since Nsumba Lyazi went to the Creator, our Lord. His service and the wholehearted dedication with which he rendered it still lives in us. It is in memory of his service to the education sector that we have convened today in the public memory lecture here in Makerere University. For those who worked with the retro buildings of Nsumba Lyazi and witnessed the climax of his service, as he handed over office to the Director of Basic and Secondary Education in 2018, there is no doubt that he walked away from the ministry with satisfaction that he had accomplished his mission in the sector. It was time for him to hang up his boots and enjoy what became the sunset day of his life. Born into the peasant setting in Romitiana, Mr. Nsumba Lyazi rose to head the Directorate of the Ministry of Education and Sports, where he oversaw the departments of basic education, secondary education, and private schools and institutions. Prior to this, he had returned to Mitiana Secondary School as a teacher, not only as a teacher, but also worked as a deputy teacher, and also became a head teacher of the same school, which compelled him to come back to the school, and we liked the way he did his work from 86. There are a number of lessons that we are able to talk about the life and times of Nsumba Lyazi. The first one, our beginnings should not define our destiny. Had Mr. Lyazi given into the common belief that where we come from dimensions where we are going, he's likely to have remained in Mitiana. He tended him, would have been a shopkeeper, would have been a father or a farmer. But despite all this, he decided to come to read, come to Makerere and excel, and also come and work beyond Mitiana. His services were always with a smile. The late Nsumba Lyazi had a contagious cheer. He had a smile that lit up the room whenever I met him. He was always loyal, and his loyalty was in all dimensions, and he took that despite the disadvantage of being as a result of other that had come from Indiana, and moreover, above all, in the middle of the war. He worked and grew during the war, and we appreciate that despite the challenges he faced, he was able to turn Indiana Secondary School into a very important school now, where it is. He was a foresighted man, and Mr. Lyazi was among the champions of football plays, the teaching of science, and he also led the promotion of the SESMAT program in the Ministry of Education. We know he was a mathematician and of course a scientist. By teaching physics and mathematics, he has made a lot in terms of the future of this country. Mr. Nsumba Lyazi was a man of many hearts. He was not only, he was an approachable life, depending on what and where he was required. He quickly adjusted to ensure that the mission he had been embarked on was accomplished. He was always cheerful, given the fact that even within the Church of Uganda, he had a successful policy. He advocated for in the political circles. He was a good shepherd of associations and brought together a number of educators, scientists, science teachers, private schools and institutions, to mention but a few. And his work is summarized in the word FAIR, a frame whereby we look with F as was fair, being always fair, fairness. A, accountability, he was accountable. He had real trust. H, honesty, equality, and respectful. He always said, it is not about doing the right thing, but it is about doing the right thing the right way. He also kept on saying that when you stop learning, then you stop living. These words summed up the progress of a humble man that he was, never letting authority and seeming success change the way he approached even the most junior officers under his charge. We shall always miss Robinson Nsumba Lyazi as the Minister of Education and Sports, in not only the academic circles, but also as a family and head of family. You have seen from his children who have talked here. Together, as the community, we also worked a lot to transform the society. Now, with the dynamic changes that the education subsector is going through, as we talk now, we have so many meetings going on in Parliament talking about the homosexuality and school fees challenges. Nsumba Lyazi will be at the forefront to ensure that he talks to the key stakeholders, to give support, give guidance, and also support the whole process. We need, with the vibrancy of the Nsumba Lyazi, those forward-looking platforms to discuss the problematic solutions. I hope that this platform that we are having today is one where we shall use and bring together all stakeholders, including academicians, politicians, diplomats, donors, public servants, entrepreneurs, and people from all walks of life, to have dialogue and status to discuss the education subsector. I wish to conclude my remarks by making a humble contribution of 1 million shillings towards the foundation that's being established in memory of Nsumba Lyazi Memorial Foundation, that is in memory of the late Nsumba Lyazi. May his soul continue resting in peace for God and my country.
Thank you very much, our dear guest of honor, for those wonderful remarks. Thank you very much for representing Mama. Kindly deliver our gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports and the First Lady for all that he did for Nsumba Lyazi and all that she continues to do for the education sector.
And I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Minister of Education staff to hand over this money and also to officially request members here, the Vice Chancellor, please come forward. The Honorable Minister was supposed to launch this booklet, and I want to take this opportunity to do it with the Vice Chancellor.
Thank you very much for launching that famous magazine titled The Trailblazer Souvenir that gives a detail about the life of Patrick Colleen.
And while I'm doing this, we want to do this and request that everybody here should go with at least more than 2-3 copies. We want to support the family into the funeral rites, and all the collections will go to the family. I do this for God and my country.
Thank you. And the price of the magazine is only
10,000.
10,000.
I also want to deliver this money to Geoffrey Lyazi on behalf of the family. Has he moved out?
Okay, but the family was big and the rest are still in here.
Can we have the representative of the family to come and receive this money?
Me, I'm a distant family friend, but I can receive. Okay, they are there. And while we wait for the family to receive Chembero, Mr. Guest of Honor, we also like to recognize a few other people that could have skipped because they didn't move in certain corners. I see some retired colleagues, great retired head teachers. And one of those is seated in the corner very quietly. Madam Eunice, kindly rise. One of the great head teachers this country had. I think our station was in TVSS. Oh, which one was it? Sanji. Oh, Sanji. Thank you very much for your full duty. I see another great retired friend here, Haji, former principal of Chibuli PTC. Thank you very much. We want to come over there and get guidance on the world that side after retirement. I see another very great friend over here, Mr. Oloka. Mr. Oloka was for a very long time the head of all district inspectors of schools in Uganda. We welcome you so much. And just as I said all that much, the chairperson Association of Secondary School Head Teachers of Uganda also arrived. And this is none other than Brother Ngabo, the head teacher of St. Henry's College, Togo. We were told earlier that he had a few mechanical problems. That's why he delayed, but the heart has been here, he has arrived. Yeah. Kindly come over, Chairperson Ashu. We can't miss that smartness in this photo that is going to take place now. So, yes, let's have that one, and I know that after this one, we may have another one outside. May I request the memory men to play as we finish off with other business? Memory men can get on the screen. I am told, okay, Chairperson Heyau, Chairperson Nepea, Chairperson Koher, and Chairperson Fenei, are they all here? Kindly come for this historical photo. And which other chairperson now? We have an association of national school proprietors? Not yet? They are all under you. Okay, because I don't about it. So for those whom we may not have recognized, we just want to thank you for coming. We may erroneously have missed seeing the corner where you sat, but please. Okay, as memory memory lane base, when I check my program, it says we are actually closing, and one of the second last items before closure is refreshments. May I see the hand of the person in charge of refreshments to tell me, are we getting them here? Have we received them already? Are we moving somewhere? Who is in charge? Okay. The in-charge welfare tells me that after that photo, we will have, oh, Dr. Beatrice, from Education Service Commission. I know you also have like Mama, the one at the town, but we can take another one from the other side as well. About a year ago, we would have such photos with masks on. And you'd wonder whether they were smiling or very happy. But now, God has blessed us. Our smiles are visible and clear. Thank you very much. May I now request the cameraman to come this side and also take a famous photo of the people seated that side. And that photo will be the one that will now appear on either look at the newspaper or Observer or New Vision or Monitor tomorrow, because I've seen them around here. Memory lane, can it play as we casually wind up? The official winding up has been done, but just begging for indulgence to enjoy additional stories in the memory lane, and at the same time, smartly move up through that door. The venue for dinner is just after that door. I am told the full tray of eats and drinks. Kindly get there and enjoy them. As I say, memory lane can continue to play as we also take on the other events. Are you coming to lead us into the dinner venue? Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our exit through that side, because I'm already imagining that some people want to go to the good eats that side. Official exit is through that side. Let's get there, enjoy what is there, and then we shall ask God to bless our massive our journeys back home. We want to thank you so much for coming. A few of us can continue listening in to the memory lane, but most of what is exhibited is exactly what was said about the person whose life we are celebrating. Let's kindly take this route. Commissioner Timothy, just kindly help me lead the team through this corridor here. There's a room waiting for us up there. You can use any corridor through here to actually enter that space. I know that we shall enjoy more of the memory lane when we go for the rumbe. Otherwise, you also have to catch up with time. Remember, tomorrow is a big public holiday, and some of you must head to Kafumiro for the national celebration.
Not forgetting the energies to see the competence-based curriculum gain shape in the presentations of Nsumba tested, proven
Ladies and gentlemen, I noted that this memorial end will also continue at the last funeral rites. So for now, you can see what you see. As a licensed teacher, graduate teacher,